In a world of fake news, we bring you up-to-the-minute factual inaccuracy and a heavy dose of moral truth. With your hosts, Kyle Mann and Ethan Nicole. This is the Babylon Bee. Fake news you can trust.
Oh, hello, everyone. We won't see you until next year. Oh, me. I do that one with my kids every year, of course. Mm-hmm. They never find it amusing. I don't know if there's any age at which they find it amusing. Like, I think there's that 1 second where their brains go.
Like the very first time, they're like, why? Why did I?
Oh, I get it, because it's in it. And then never again. Is there any thought to that? Mm-hmm. But it's okay. I'll keep telling it. I'm Kyle Mann. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Babylon Bee. This is Ethan Nicole, creative director of the Babylon Bee. And we are your hosts for the Babylon Bee podcast, a podcast where you get to hang out with the Babylon Bee writers. I'm saying the word Babylon Bee a lot.
Yeah.
Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee. To become meaningless after a while. Well, This is our year-end show.
This is the end of the year.
We're recording this a week before, and we're going to put this up so that we can just be off, hanging out with our families for a week. So...
Hanging out.
You'll see a lot of reposts from us. We're going to post our best of the year on social media throughout the next week or so. So you'll be seeing that. And then on this podcast, we're just going to do a quick retrospective.
Throughout the next week from when this goes up or from right now?
From when this goes up. When does this go up? Friday? I guess we can put it out before then.
Yeah. Who knows?
The week surrounding this podcast.
So
if you're on Facebook and you're like, hey,
these are old.
I laughed at this joke 6 months ago.
This just happened?
I like the guy, the commenter on Facebook who's always like, repost.
Yeah, good job. Thanks.
I've heard this one before.
Yeah, repost.
It's like the guy at a party when you start saying, hey, okay, so the minister and the priest and the rabbi walk to a bar, and he's like, heard this one. And he just sits back.
Repost.
Repost.
They don't say that with, like, food.
I know.
They're like, oh, we're having chicken again. Repost.
Oh, done this one before.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Can we enjoy it again?
We can enjoy it again.
And some people missed it. That's the idea.
Yeah. Well, we were reposting on social media. We'll repost articles from like a year before because our social following, it's like a year later, we might have double the subscribers on a particular platform. So all these people did not get to enjoy our great joke about someone identifying as something that they're not. So we get to repost it. This is what we get to do.
And it's identifying as a new post.
It identifies as a new joke. That's the same joke, Ethan. No. So anyway, we're lazy, so we decided to record this a week ahead of time so we didn't have to do much work.
Yeah, it's been a big year here at the Babylon Bee. Wait, do we have stories or anything?
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what happened at the Babylon Bee this year. Well, reminisce. And then we're going to count down our top 10 stories, top 10 shared Babylon Bee stories of the year.
Okay.
That'll be fun. We'll count from 10 to 1.
I think we did this last year and saw that I didn't make any.
You made the list this year.
Oh, did I make the list? Yeah, I didn't even write anything this year.
You wrote a lot less because you were doing more cartoons.
A lot busier with the book and
podcasts
cartoons
and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so you made it. We should have done your top cartoons. We could throw that in the subscriber portion.
Top 10, which is like...
all of them.
I can't believe I've done... Have I done 10 yet? I think so.
I think there's like 12, 13 on the animation list. Number 1 is Gavin Newsom on Impractical Jokers.
Newsom
just broke 100,000 views as our first 100,000 view cartoon and video. We're very proud. I know we'll look back on that in 5 years and be like, remember when we were all excited about 100,000 views?
Hope so.
Or we'll be like, remember when we used to get 100,000 views?
Yeah, on one video.
We really peaked with that Gavin Newsom video. All right, well, this year at the Babylon Bee, we got a real studio.
Yeah, this is real.
Some stuff that happened.
Yeah.
We were in my garage a year and a half ago.
Happened fast.
We were in my garage recording. You weren't even working for the Babylon Bee.
No, it was right after I started working for you. Like I started showing up at your garage. So like that was the workplace.
Maybe a year and 7 months, a year and 8 months ago is when you started working for the Babylon Bee. Like 3 or 4 months later, we launched the podcast in my garage. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of months later, we got the office, I think.
The first office, yeah.
So we had our office about a year and 3 months ago or so. And that was our little one that you were like, that's the Babylon Bee. And we're sitting like with
a very small white room.
And all the disappointed people who would come by and be like, oh.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Sorbo was our last
Oh yeah, he was our last.
I think he was our last recording there.
Was he?
Or at least one of the last.
Close to.
And it was just like this big name showing up. Like,
yeah.
Well, you know what the funny thing was? It was more impressive on the outside because it was this corporate building.
Giant skyscraper.
Oh, wow, this is nice. But we rented one tiny room in there. Yeah. This place is like less assuming on the outside. You're just like, oh, is it?
Yeah.
Then you go inside.
Opposite
like,
here.
It's more Willy Wonka.
You walk inside, it's like a skyscraper in here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bigger on the
Crazy.
inside. We launched video podcasts in the last year.
Yeah. That's been a huge undertaking. Good job, Dan.
I did not know how much was involved on a video podcast.
I know. It's like, well, you just turn on some cameras and you get some visual.
We are doing the audio. Just throw up the video.
Yeah,
no,
throw it up there.
That is not the case.
Which is also the same with audio. It's, you just throw up the audio.
Yeah. Well, to me, I just come here and talk, and you guys take care of it. Our YouTube channel grew tremendously. I think we're up to close to 60,000 subscribers now on there. Thanks a lot to the animation, also the video podcast.
There was nothing there before. I mean, it was like we started one and then...
We started one and didn't do anything with it. I think we started throwing up the audio tracks.
Yeah, we started throwing up the audio with a picture.
So, hello, YouTube people, YouTube land. Hopefully you've discovered the Babylon Bee through YouTube.
Hopefully.
Launched animation this year. It's a big one.
We'll look back on these days as like the Steamboat Willie days.
There'll be a whole documentaries about the Impractical Jokers one. You can see the animation.
He used to animate the whole thing.
By hand.
Yeah. He was a racist. No, just kidding.
Was it Walt Disney? People say he was a racist.
Anybody old and famous that ruled an empire. So he's like, they're a racist, anti-Semite.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
But there was a darker side. Yeah, something like that.
They all want to start utopias once they get really rich.
Yeah. Like Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Grew tremendously. Number of paid Babylon Bee subscribers. Thank you, people who are paid subscribers.
Huge growth.
Huge growth there.
Couldn't have done this without that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and Facebook really squashed us for like the last 2 months. They just announced that that now you can. Now they're not going to squash as many posts. They like to keep announcing we are squashing posts, and then they come out. We are not squashing as many posts. It's their whole post-election coverage. We are prioritizing content from trusted sources. And now they said we're rolling that back.
Now that Biden's in there.
Now that Biden's in, okay, we're going to relax it. You guys can make your jokes now. But because we had the paid subscribers, it didn't affect us. Like I would have been sweating pretty hard if Facebook was squashing us that hard.
When we were purely ad driven.
And we're purely ad driven because they have the power to just turn off the faucet. Speaking of, we got some posts deleted from Facebook, Instagram. We were banned by Twitter, suspended by Twitter for a few hours, and we still have no idea what that was about. But that drove more subscriptions than anything. This one day that they suspended us for a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And
this is first annual BeeCon on here. What's that?
That
happened? Did I miss it?
You missed the BeeCon. I was in Florida with Seth.
Oh, that's called BeeCon.
Nah, just not.
That's like a staff getaway
trip.
BeeCon seems like people could come to it.
Yeah. No.
No.
They could if they knew where
that
it
was. Fun.
They could just show up.
Well, yeah, for the first time, a bunch of us actually met.
We actually met Babylon Bee writers in person. Great group of guys. I was impressed.
Yeah, they're all impressive.
Picking a bunch of people just out of jokes.
There's like one or two weirdos, but yeah.
Yeah, you know who you are. It was just amazing to see people kind of pair off in a group and be like, I like,
we're all like family.
Yeah, it was incredible. Well, in March, we shifted to full-time coronavirus jokes.
Full-time.
I woke up one morning and I was writing jokes about transgender people and politicians, and then the next morning I woke up and it was like 6 coronavirus jokes today because that's all anybody wants to read. And it was fun for like a month. Yeah.
But it launched, we have done some. It launched us doing song jokes. We did
That's true.
Go Down Moses song.
Yeah.
I think that was our first ever Babylon Bee song of any kind.
Well,
right?
Yes. Although I think, didn't Austin do that one with the Grinch and Newsom? Or he like narrated.
Was that a song?
It was like a narration.
Yeah, that was just like a poem. Yeah, so that's been fun.
Yeah.
Broadening the bee.
Oh, and I forgot. I thought, didn't Dave DeAndrea read that Night Before Christmas, The War on Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, that was like one of our first videos.
So just that was kind of, I guess that's the other thing we've launched into doing other video content.
Yeah.
It's kind of just random. Doing a lot of new stuff. I like it.
We got more people on board. We hired more people.
Yeah.
So
the hive is growing.
I was thinking a year ago, it was me and you.
And it seemed unimaginable to be able to hire anybody on. Like, it was like,
yeah, because we had just started having Dan do part-time work then, and you were thinking like, well, maybe we could get him full-time at some point. Yeah. And then we'd have 3.
Well, the way to get Dan on was we were like, there's a lot of stuff that me and you do that we don't necessarily have to be doing it, and we're so busy. It was like we were thinking like a high schooler, like assistant or somebody who could kind of come in and just like carry papers around or something. So, but Dan's job quickly went from being like an assistant who just does our extra work to like full on position.
I guess that's how this grows is you become the assistant, and then you have so much you get an assistant for the assistant, and then you get an assistant for the assistant, and
that's what a company is.
That's how a company is born.
Yeah.
Kids, gather around. We're going to tell you how a company is reproduced. So it's amazing. I mean, now we have a full team. It feels like a company now. I don't know if you were to chart like the growth.
In the last few months, it's suddenly started to feel like a company.
Yeah. The real deal. Another big thing that happened, Trump shared our article.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where we said that Twitter shut down the whole network.
You might have thought it was real.
Slow the spread of negative Biden news. And yeah, we weren't.
Biden knows.
Biden knows. You just think Biden, you think knows. And it wasn't clear if he thought it was real or not. But that was a big day for us.
Yeah.
It was funny how little of a blip that was for us.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, that wasn't really that like.
It was because we got more traffic.
He had shared our stuff before, though, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the first time he directly shared us?
That's a good question.
I know that because it was kind of big.
It was definitely the first time
he shared a share.
It was definitely the first time he was sitting on the gold toilet in the White House with the iPhone, and he
offered his commentary.
He clicked on the Babylon Bee article, hit copy of the URL, pasted it in his Twitter.
Oh, really? So it wasn't a
retweet.
Quote tweet.
It wasn't a quote tweet. He pasted it, and then he goes, "I can't believe that they're doing this."
Yeah.
That was the first time.
Okay.
So, thank you, President Trump. May he live forever. We got a profile in the New York Times, which ended up being fairly fair and balanced. I didn't like the way they framed it. It was like the Babylon Bee was a site they used to make fun of Trump. Now they're on his side. Yeah, that was like the headline or the caption or whatever.
Or maybe just like Trump jokes got old like a long time ago.
Well, at least that angle of Trump joke that like he is.
We still tell Trump jokes, but they don't.
The angle of Trump joke that he's bad. That got old very fast.
Yeah, it gets pretty old.
But we did one on Saturday saying that he got the dark saber, which is a Star Wars reference. Did really well because it's just you roll with his personality. You don't tell him all the time, and it works.
I have a confession that I watched the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian.
Oh, hey, what'd you think?
It's good.
Good. I'm glad.
It was enough for me to watch 3 episodes. That's a good sign.
Nice. Okay, cool. Just a space western guy walking around.
I like the giant rhino thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like cool creatures, so.
Yeah, it's so imaginative. I love it.
Imaginative?
Imaginative.
I just like to mock how you talk.
Anytime Ethan makes fun of how I pronounce things, take a shot of grape juice.
This is actually Diet Coke.
This is actually empty. And I didn't think it was. We interviewed some big names this year. I got to talk to my hero, Ron Paul, this year.
Did we start the podcast this year? Or no,
no,
we've been doing a year.
We started a year and a half ago, but we had Michael Malice on Zoom. We had Kevin Max on. We had Ali Beth Stuckey on. And that's when we were like...
What was our first in-person interview? Was it Bridget Fedesi?
Yeah, it would have been Bridget or Kira or Greg.
Greg Kokel, no.
It would have been one of them.
I swear it was... I think it was Bridget Fedesi, but I can't remember.
Could have been. Yeah. Oh, no, it's probably Godawa.
Oh, it could be, yeah. You might be right. No, we haven't had him on a long time. He moved.
I know we tried to get him local. He's like, I'm currently in a U-Haul leaving California.
Yeah. So sad.
It's like everybody we try to interview now. They're like,
they're all moving.
Currently packing my U-Haul.
Yep.
So, all right, well.
We're holding it down here.
That was just a brief retrospective. Do we want to go to the top 10 Bee articles of the year?
Let's do it.
Everybody, do we have a consensus? All right, here we go.
And now, the Babylon Bees topic of the week.
We published a lot of content this year. If you can say anything about the Babylon Bees jokes, it's that there were a lot of them.
Relative to, regular thing. Whatever.
Well, you think of the number of jokes that the average person tells in a year.
That's what I'm saying. Average person. It's kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, like Soup Plantation makes more salads than the average person.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Because they're out of business.
That should be on our list somewhere. Soup Plantation.
My son asked us if we could go to Soup Plantation yesterday. Just out of the blue. Can we go to Soup Plantation? I'm like, sorry, son.
I would feel this mirth as I told him that no, because it sucks and the business model fell apart because it's a garbage place.
He said, "Oh yeah, was that?" He was like, "They used to have dirty plates, right?" Because remember, they would they would take their plates and they would just like pressure wash them and then set them in the front of the restaurant, and then
just pressure
you
wash
go
it
grab
off.
a plate at the front, and it's like, you try to find a clean one. That's always how it felt. In
You go
civilization.
camping and like nobody cares. Like
Yeah,
I eat everything with the same knife. Just like
I'm
a
not
pocket
crazy
knife.
about it, but
Yeah.
at a restaurant, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's weird at a restaurant. There's always weird people.
All right, so here's the top 10 B articles of the year
But Soup Plantation.
in terms of shares, starting from number 10 and counting our way up to number 1.
Oh yeah, the ultimate countdown.
Number 10, inspiring. Celebrities spell out, "We're all in this together," with their yachts. A classic.
This is a classic. This one was great because it got retweeted by Patton Oswalt, who liked it
Whom we made fun of in the article.
in the article, and he called us magnificent.
Porpoises.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, "I disagree with
I
these
don't
guys,
know if
but they
he-
made the point in a clever way." You know?
But did he know he disagreed with? I don't know if he knew that we were conservatives or not.
Well, he knew we were making fun of him, at least.
Oh yeah, he knew we were making fun of him
I don't know if he knew it was
I don't
conservative
know.
or what.
or whatever we are. Not if he dug in deeper, he'd be like, "Burn this
Yeah.
website down."
And again, I don't even say the Babylon Bee is conservative. It's
Yeah, so
not leftist. And
not
we make fun of
leftist,
leftists.
yeah.
So,
It makes jokes that are off limits if you're on the
yeah,
left.
sure.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, because I think Patton Oswalt had tweeted out some joke like, remember it was something about Fuddruckers? He said that's why we put him in the article, because he said something like, all these poor people knocking on the door of Fuddruckers, like, open up. Like,
It was something
like that
with
was
the
his
pandemic,
vision.
right?
That was his vision of people that were upset at the lockdowns, was they
Oh.
just wanted to eat at Fuddruckers.
I don't remember. Funny other stuff.
And so he kind of got like ratioed on that tweet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, easy for you to say sitting in your mansion. You know?
Mhm.
But anyway. But we do want Fuddruckers to open.
I will say it's not really a mansion because I've actually.
Oh, what is it?
This is a big house.
What's the definition of a mansion?
Have you been in like Los Feliz, kind of the regular area like down there? Just the
Big house.
really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just like.
What did you say? Feliz?
In fact, your house might be around the same size. Actually, I don't know. It might be a little bit,
But my house
because the
costs
houses
a lot
are so
less.
much more expensive.
Yeah.
When we made Axe Cop, it was in a house right next door to Patton Oswalt. So,
Gotcha. What's the address? No, sure.
I can find it. He's still there.
Let's
That was
dox
weird. The
Patton
way he
Oswalt.
ended up on the show is he was jogging by. And Nick Offerman's like, "You want to be on Axe Cop?" And I told this story, I'm sure.
And he
But
goes,
we're
"You-"
doing a top 10 right now.
He goes, "You magnificent."
Porpoises.
So he just says to everybody.
Yeah.
I just saw someone repost this article on Twitter just recently, again, because people
I
still
love
think
people-
this is real. And
people think it's real,
And he
yeah.
debunked it. And he's like,
oh.
they did the thing that they all do where they go, actually, you can tell these boats are photoshopped. And this guy, he posted, he goes, "There is no place near Malibu that looks like this. I've looked at the oceans and, I just love people
You just
scouring
look at the
it.
shadows. All you got to do is look at the shadows.
Or just read the headline and be like, oh, I see
Yeah, it's
what they're
ridiculous.
doing.
Yeah. And there's only 4 different boats repeated.
True. All right, what's our number 9?
I wasn't trying to be too sneaky. Photoshop. Trump announces he has hidden 5 golden tickets among stimulus checks. Dropping
There's your
the,
Trump humor.
Yeah. Yeah. See? Trump owned.
Trump destroyed. He's so dumb.
He's so dumb. He's just like Willy Wonka, a candy magnate.
Yeah.
Is that the right? Use that word, magnate?
Magnate.
A candy tycoon.
Are there tycoons? Are there
Chocolate
magnates?
bar. What's another word like that?
Hey, in the Charlie Chocolate Factory movie, there was that spy guy that was like trying to get the
Yeah, they
gobstopper.
snuck him in. He's not in the book.
He's not in the book. Okay. That's what I was wondering, because it was weird to me that there's like all this espionage between candy companies.
Yeah, that's all from the movie.
Okay. That wasn't in the book.
And then Charlie, like having a bad side and stuff. Him and his grandpa being sneaky or whatever. They worked that in too. They had to give him a flaw because he's just like perfect in the book. He's the perfect child.
You mean with the root beer when they like drink the
Yeah, they
soda
go and they drink
float
the
up?
soda and they float.
Yeah.
or whatever.
That was movie.
That was purely movie. Yeah,
You're like me watching Lord of the Rings, where I'm like, that's
I'm not
in
that
there.
bad. I don't have like, Willy Wonka's cane on my wall.
Like Aragorn's sword is the equivalent of Willy Wonka's cane.
I have the gobstopper machine.
Look at this.
Replica.
A
It's
replica
exact replica.
gobstopper.
Not that bad. Nope. Denied.
Number 8. Biden, I am the only candidate who can beat Ronald Reagan.
And then the distant future, people will have to like look back. And the funny thing about that joke is that they were pretty far apart in time.
Yeah, because it won't. Yeah, if you were to read one now that was like,
Yeah, Garfield.
yeah, Garfield said something
Yeah.
to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Well, I would know that one, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone who's like 20 years apart or something,
Yeah.
where you would be like, what? Oh,
Teddy Roosevelt.
oh, okay. I published this story when I was still going to Disneyland. This was like early March.
Hmm.
And I was like, I got to
So
throw.
it did that good? It's because probably people thought it was real, right?
No, I don't. I think people just like the joke. I mean, well, I remember because if it does well off our Babylon Bee page,
Uh-huh.
then it's that people thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
If it starts spreading through like
Yeah,
a Ben Shapiro share or something, that's when people think it's
gotcha.
real. But I published this, and then I jumped in the car and drove to Disneyland, and then I was like, looked at it was doing really
Which
well.
was a
I'm like,
daily thing until
It was a daily thing.
Corona hit.
This was like March 3rd or 4th or something. I was looking at the date, and I'm like, no, it was like a week before Disneyland closed
We probably owe a lot of our growth to coronavirus.
because Kyle wasn't at Disneyland all the
Because
time.
yeah, you were at Disneyland like 3 or 4 days out of the week there.
I was just talking to my wife last night. She's like, I miss Disneyland. Sad. Number 7.
FBI hires top-rated Italian bodyguard Luigi Clintonelli to protect Ghislaine Maxwell. How do you say that? Ghislaine?
Like that you weren't sure, so you just added an accent to it.
Ghislaine. Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell. A
Is that
series
a soft
of
G or a hard G?
I don't know, GIF or GIF. This was I guess this was our top performing Hillary Clinton in disguise joke. I don't know why this one rose to the top from all the other
Yeah, it's
Hillary
weird.
disguise ones, but
There's a whole series.
it's a series. So I think we have maybe 10 that we did,
Wow. That's
and
a
I've
lot.
retired it. I
And
think the joke is
We've
retired.
avoided every culturally sensitive.
Well,
Have we?
we did
We
her.
never did blackface or anything.
We never did blackface. We did do an Indian one.
Native American.
I don't remember if we did a Chinese one. I don't think we did. I think we talked about it. Of course we did. And then I was like, no. We did a Jewish one.
What would her name be?
No, I remember one writer pitched a very name that we could not use. But yeah. Oh no, we did a Jewish one. And then we got some hate mail, people saying like, why you hate Jews? So
Yeah, it's like It's a Small World, but with Hillary Clinton.
But
you know, every nationality.
well, and I think the reason we didn't get in trouble for all these is because the caricature's so
Stupid.
over the top. Like
It was-
she's got
but-
this massive twirly mustache.
Yeah, but
on.
if it was,
Sure.
yeah,
If it was what? No, just
if it was a race that you can't touch,
say it.
it
Say
makes
it.
it worse. You can do like a subtle
Yeah.
disguise.
It is strange how there are certain ones that you can do. And we just knew going in, oh, we can do Italian. We can do
Yeah, Italian.
Scandinavian. We can do Russian.
Do you ever do a Viking?
But why would disguised as a Viking?
Viking.
Like Hillary Clinton with like the horns and the
Hillary
tankard.
Clinterson. I don't know what the
Clinton Tinkleson or yeah, something like that.
Clinton Steyer. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. Is it my turn?
Number 6.
Your turn.
Walmart now requires all shoppers to wear pants. Classic.
True
Just a
news.
classic joke.
Classic.
I think that was right when they said that everybody had to wear masks.
There's all the masks.
Pants.
Yeah, how many of these are pandemic related?
So far, 2
2.
of 5. So that's not too bad.
2 of 5.
2 of
So
5.
the celebrities one is
40%.
that pandemic related?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the golden tickets is stimulus checks, but
Yeah.
I say that's a tangential, thing.
Yeah.
So
Is that all we have to say about that one?
Walmart now requires all shoppers to wear pants. Well, I think some of these we covered on the podcast, and
Yeah,
I've
we've
told
covered
all my
most of
good.
these. Yeah, or
I think I told the story where I walked in Walmart and there was a smell, and I looked down one of the freezer aisles and there's just feces spread, and they've got like a yellow cone thing there, and like, don't come in here.
faces.
Fierce. Are you making fun of how I pronounce that?
No,
Take a shot of grape juice, everybody. I don't know.
yeah, I guess I was. I was trying to think of why I did that.
Walmart
This is
now requires
involuntary
all
at this point.
shoppers to wear pants.
Punts.
You never know what
Daily
word
on.
I'm going to slip in there. Some weird pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't remember you telling me that story. There's a
I
hallway
might
full
have
of
just
feces.
might have just brushed it over like, oh, I've seen feces in the aisles.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Next,
poop at Walmart.
moving on.
Yes, moving on. How weird would it be to go back a year from now and tell yourself, So next year, like, you're going to be wearing masks in the stores, and
Oh, you're gonna see feces.
you're going to see feces in Walmart.
Walmart. You get your one chance at time travel. That's what you
And
do.
that's what you do with it.
Prepare yourself emotionally for this.
I'm allowing you to talk to yourself in the past one time. You get to say one thing. On August 3rd, you will walk into Walmart. And there will be feces.
They will be the feces of Hitler.
Save those feces.
Okay, what am I?
Just move on. Go to number 5.
Number 5. We're halfway there. NBA players wear special lace collars to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Now that one
This
went big
one was funny.
because people thought it was real.
Yep.
So if
Very,
you're looking for
very-
ones that got big, not because they were funny, even though
There
it was
is a
funny.
video of us going over this whole thing, reading many of the tweets of people.
Oh man, you got to go back and watch
inspired.
that if you haven't.
Yeah.
That was, I don't remember what episode that was, but oh man.
Yeah, and we isolated that clip.
I think we might have decided that this was the only article to ever go big on the left, because the only Babylon Bee article ever to go big on the left because they thought it was real and because they thought it was inspiring.
Yeah, they were happy about
Like sometimes we did the Trump stained glass one, and
Yeah,
they're like,
that
"This
was a
is
big one.
terrible."
it. And then they drove that one.
Trump, I have done more for Christianity than Jesus. They share that one, like, "Oh, this is terrible," but then they shared this one and said, "This is inspiring." I've never seen.
So I'm crying right now.
I'm trying to even think of one that's happened on the right, where the right
Were they
has
inspired
thought it was like thought a Babylon Bee article was real
and inspired.
and inspiring. Like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like Trump, I have done more for Christianity than Jesus. If the right was like, oh, this is great.
He really has.
Yeah. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, go Trump. Because I can think of somewhere that they're like, yeah, go Trump, get him. But I can't think of specifically.
You know, ones where people were all excited. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Maybe some new product. We did a joke about a new product, like new thing introduced, and they called the store like, I want to buy one of these. I guess that would be the closest. Like we did the MAGA helmets,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, they don't think it was real, but they say I would buy that. You know, so I don't know. All right, number 4. Biden campaign says he is so close to a VP pick he can smell her.
That's my dad
There
joke.
you go, man. So proud of you, dude.
Number 4.
You made the list.
4th up there.
I don't know how many of these photoshops did you do? You did the yachts.
The
You did
yachts.
Hiluigi.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. You're so quick.
So you did 20% of our best Photoshop.
Success.
Good job. But see, there's a thing like where if these went big because people thought they were real, your Photoshops don't do that usually.
The stained glass window.
That's true.
That's completely fabricated.
But it tends to be where your Photoshops, like if you're on video, you can look at some of Ethan's Photoshops behind us.
I try to make them look
They're
larger
surreal
than
looking.
life.
They're it's Ethan's got this eye for like cartoon humor, so it's very Looney Tunes, and you wouldn't mistake it for being reality usually.
usually.
Usually,
But I think the Trump Last Supper is pretty convincing.
yeah, but you wouldn't think it was real.
Yeah. Because they didn't have cameras back then.
Right. Trump isn't actually Jesus,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't make any sense.
A lot of sleuthing you have to do. Yeah.
I mean, that one you did, Biden campaign says he's so close to a VP pick he can smell her, was perfect because of the timing. I think we released that the Saturday before he
Like
announced
right at the moment.
on
Yeah.
Monday. You know, it was like everybody was waiting for the pick, and you threw
Mhm.
that up, and it was just good job, Ethan.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
That was at a time when I wasn't writing many articles.
Yeah.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Bernie. Bernie tests negative for president.
That's another timing one.
Yeah.
It was right in the
A
middle
lot
of
of these are timing.
coronavirus. Jokes were huge. Bernie dropped out, and we threw it up immediately. I think we had it ready. It was in the hopper.
Oh, yeah. Was this the one that we... Maybe not. Remember there was one where we were above like CNN and all these news outlets for like the most
Yeah,
shared.
that was this
Like
one.
the way people got this info was us.
Yeah, this
above
was
all the others.
this one was shared. I think it was more than any other article about Bernie dropping out of the race. More than CNN's official report, more than the New York Times official report. On social media, it was shared the most. I like that we're like the number one source for news. That's just
that's pretty
fantastic.
big. Awesome.
Number 2, Cracker Jack changes name to more politically correct Caucasian Jack.
So you can see why we have our 3 conservative jokes. Because look how well it does for us.
I remember sitting.
Did you expect this one to do as well as it did?
No, but it was there was a
I was
timing.
just like, are you kidding me? This is doing that well?
There was a timing thing I like this joke. So I don't know this joke.
I mean, it's not a bad
Okay, look.
joke. It's just, to me, it's like the joke that you would make while you're in the grocery store. Like, you'll get it. I don't know.
It's not a bad joke. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
the
that's
joke
just
that the
kinda-
crazy guy would make in the grocery store.
Not crazy guy, just
Uncle
your cousin
Ernie.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not, anyway, you did good.
There was a timing thing here too, because this was right when Aunt Jemima was getting pulled. It was like right on the same, like they had the script. Okay, this is the month where we are pulling
Uncle Ben.
mascots. It just all happened at the same time.
Yeah.
So there was a timing thing here.
Yeah.
But I think of all the jokes, like if you're going to tell this joke, that's a pretty good version of it.
Sure.
Can we agree?
Fine. Yeah.
On it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a snob. A total snob.
And look where it gets you. 1 out of 10 jokes.
1 out of 10. How many of these are the rest yours? Pretty much, yeah.
I can tell you in a second. Okay, let's do our... So number one joke of the year.
Kyle's your joke and your Photoshop. Biden cuts hole in mask so he can still sniff people's hair. The visual does make it. It looks like a little thumb tip sticking out of his nose.
Yeah, so I don't know if we do some analysis here, like mostly political, right?
Yeah, there's like no Christian jokes.
No Christian jokes. Biden is 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Very current event heavy. Like if there was a huge topic everybody was talking about and we made the perfect joke, boom. That's going to rise up to the top. That doesn't necessarily mean these are our 10 best jokes.
Yeah.
These are
these are
ones
the
that
most
were
shared.
Widespread shared. So that's going to be like...
I'd have way more in here if this was our funniest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we should have done. You want to start over?
No.
Okay. I wrote 1, 2... 1, 2, 3. The top 3 are mine, I think.
Wow. Well, mine's the top 4th.
4, 5. I wrote 5 of the 10. And I actually probably wrote more, but of the copy. But
Yeah.
5 of the 10 were mine. Down from last year. Sad. I think I had like 6 or 7 last
You're
year.
losing it.
Losing my touch.
Losing your tail.
I'm going to come out of retirement to tell one last joke. All right, well, we're going to count down 5 more jokes in our subscriber portion. It's going to be a shorter episode because we're lazy.
Are these the next top even better or the last 5
No, these are like
worse?
These are 11 through
shared.
15. So
Okay.
we'll do that on our subscriber portion. But I wanted to just tell you guys all to have a great new year. Be thankful to God for all the good things he's done for us this year. We're really
grateful.
blessed.
Very blessed indeed.
No hate mail this episode.
Yeah, this is
we
a
don't want to
happy
end
episode.
on that. Let us read this G.K. Chesterton poem to close out the year.
G.K. Chesterton.
Here dies another day during which I have had eyes, ears, hands, and the great world around me. And with tomorrow begins another. Why am I allowed 2? So good. It always took me a second to think
Yeah.
about it.
Excessive. We get a backup hand.
Yeah.
A backup eye.
All right, everybody. God bless from the Babylon Bee. You have a great new year. If you're a subscriber, we're going to go do 5 more stories.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
In the subscriber lounge, we're going to do 5 more of our top stories. Yeah, I mean, I think this was, in some ways, this was the beginning of the coronavirus jokes, and this was the end of an era with Chick-fil-A jokes. So we did the article that Chick-fil-A.
Oh, now you're going to tell?
Yeah, I will. Oh,
Did we ever talk about this?
We might not have talked
I
about
can't
it on
remember.
the
We
podcast.
kind of avoided
It
it.
was sensitive at the time.
Time to tear all the statues down because we don't need history anymore. We are history.
Wondering what they'll say next? The rest of this podcast is in our super exclusive premium subscriber lounge. Go to babylonbee.com/plans for full-length ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave DeAndrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.